Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers. And what we're going to do today is I'm going to do a morning video today, you guys. I'm going to try to start doing more morning videos, and we're going to cover this morning's headlines. And I'm going to do an extra special, careful job not to get political. And what we're going to start is we're going to listen to a video clip by Tucker Carlson, who is no longer employed by Fox News. So that's pretty big news because he's one of the biggest influential media heads in the world. So we'll dig into that video real quick. And after that, you guys, we're going to dig into an article about, the saga with DeSantis and Disney continues. Disney has now sued the governor of Florida. So we're going to go into that. Now, after that, guys, we're going to dig into an article, really good article actually from the Supreme Court that is ruling on equity theft. So basically, this poor old lady, 94-year-old woman, made it all the way to the Supreme Court to basically fight for property rights. So it's actually a really big deal. So we're going to go into that, guys. And then where I'm going to end is by accessing an article that is going to basically warn us on the potential long-lasting effects of a recession, because many federal officials are predicting that not only are we going to be in recession, but the recession that we're about to go into or are already in right now is going to last longer than normal. So we're going to go over that stuff, guys. And if I have time, I'm going to read one more article about the speed at which the bank runs happens, because the bank runs unprecedented speed, right? 1 minute, everything's doing okay. And then, another minute, everything's falling apart. So we're going to actually go into that. Now, I also wanted to give you guys an update tomorrow, and I'm going to just really try to run through this. I'm going to have chapters as well. I don't know where my pen is. Holy smokes. I don't even have a pen. This is crazy. But anyways, I'm going to do chapters if you guys want to come back here. Now, it's going to be hard for me to do Q&As today, but I wanted to tell you guys, where's the pen? I can't believe I don't have a pen. I wanted to tell you guys tomorrow morning at 8:30, I'm going to do a full Q&A live, and I'm going to have Jennifer Rader come back on, and she's going to break down the differences in conventional loans versus FHA loans. So if you guys have some questions, log in tomorrow about 8:30 a.m., and we'll definitely be answering those questions. Now, I'm going to get started here, guys. Now, I'm going to be leaving the comments. I'm going to try something new, you guys. Basically, I'm going to be leaving the comments on the screen. So, and I have some mods there, but it's going to be live. So make sure, no one's saying anything crazy, no cuss words, or I can't have you guys' comments on the screen. So we're going to get started here right now, you guys. I'm just going to make my first timestamp. We're going to listen to Tucker first, and let me know that the audio is okay. Okay. Let me pull this up for you guys right here. And you guys can see the comments here on the right. You guys see your comments? You got to figure out how to do your comments on the screen. Isn't that awesome? So your guys' comments will be there live. And again, please don't disappoint me, guys. Everyone be nice. Even if you don't agree with me, it's totally cool. Voice your opinions, but let's all show respect. We're all together in this, obviously. But again, let's listen to Tucker Carlson. Again, don't want to play politics here. He's just a massive, one of the biggest media personalities in the world. And it's like he abruptly left Fox. So he just last night put out a video on his Twitter account, and we're going to listen to what he says right now. And guys, do me a favor, make sure that when I play this video, if you guys can, just comment below and let me know that the audio is good. But we're going to listen to this now. It's about 2 minutes long. Let's go right now. And again, you guys, let me know that the audio is good. I'm going to play it now.
Good evening, it's Tucker Carlson. One of the first things you realize when you step outside the noise for a few days is how many genuinely nice people there are in this country. Kind and decent people, people who really care about what's true, and a bunch of hilarious people also, a lot of those. It's got to be the majority of the population, even now. So that's heartening. The other thing you notice when you take a little time off is how unbelievably stupid most of the debates you see on television are. They're completely irrelevant. They mean nothing. In 5 years, we won't even remember that we had them. Trust me, as someone who's participated. And yet at the same time, and this is the amazing thing, the undeniably big topics, the ones that will define our future, get virtually no discussion at all. War, civil liberties, emerging science, demographic change, corporate power, natural resources. When was the last time you heard a legitimate debate about any of those issues? It's been a long time. Debates like that are not permitted in American media. Both political parties and their donors have reached consensus on what benefits them, and they actively collude to shut down any conversation about it. Suddenly, the United States looks very much like a one-party state. That's a depressing realization, but it's not permanent. Our current orthodoxies won't last. They're brain dead. Nobody actually believes them. Hardly anyone's life is improved by them. This moment is too inherently ridiculous to continue, and so it won't. The people in charge know this. That's why they're hysterical and aggressive. They're afraid. They've given up persuasion. They're resorting to force. But it won't work. When honest people say what's true, calmly and without embarrassment, they become powerful. At the same time, the liars who've been trying to silence them shrink and they become weaker. That's the iron law of the universe. True things prevail. Where can you still find Americans saying true things? There aren't many places left, but there are some, and that's enough. As long as you can hear the words, there is hope. See you soon.
Okay, guys, so that is all that Tucker had to say. So that's Tucker Carlson. Obviously, I've heard so many different rumors, y'all. Heard he was fired, heard he was not fired. Regardless, it's a big deal. I mean, he was one of the three big heads at Fox News following Hannity and, was it Laura? What is it? Laura Ingraham. I don't personally, you guys, I don't watch the news. I don't have cable. I don't like the news. I don't like the division. I kind of just research myself, but really big deal. And I will say just this one thing. And again, I'm not going to play politics here. Y'all see your comments on the screen right there. Isn't that crazy that I could do that? But I like what he was saying about healthy debates. Again, not getting into the politics. I think that healthy debates are a good thing. I think that society has got away a lot from those healthy debates, talking about really important things. And I think he had some good points there, y'all. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. But regardless, he is no longer employed by Fox News. That is huge news. So now let's go into this next article right here, you guys. Now this. This is so unbelievable to me. So the saga continues with Disney and DeSantis. Now, if you guys remember, let me kind of give you guys a breakdown, a couple of bullet points on Disney and really how big Disney is. Now, remember, Disney is Florida's biggest employer. Okay, they employ 80,000 Floridans. So they employ, again, 80,000 employees. So this is a huge deal. Let's see here. I don't know what I was looking at right now, you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I look at the comments and I totally get thrown off because I want to participate with you guys. But again, remember tomorrow, Q&A tomorrow. But this saga continues. And let's read where we're at right now with the whole Disney feud. The reason this is important because if Disney moves, which I don't think that they can financially, but if Disney moves, it's going to crush that area in Florida. And obviously, wherever they move will have a major impact on the economy, the housing market, the job market, and things of that nature. A lot of people don't want, like locals don't want Disney to move to their state per se, because it will obviously, jack up prices for houses. It will create a lot of demand. But let's see let's see what happens here. I mean, no one knows what's going to happen. A lot of us don't think that it's possible that they can even move, but let's see what what feud is going on. Now, Disney sued Florida Governor Ron DeSantis on yesterday, over the Republicans' takeover of its theme park district, alleging the governor waged a targeted campaign of government retaliation after the company opposed a law critics call "Don't Say Gay." And I'm making my time stamp right here. Okay, the lawsuit was filed in Tallahassee minutes after Disney World Oversight Board appointed by DeSantis voted to avoid a deal that gave the company authority over design and construction decisions in its sprawling properties near Orlando. So obviously Disney's trying to, keep the control here. Give me, what I'm going to do, you guys? I am going to do this real quick. Just give me a minute. I'm going to stop sharing my screen because of that arrow. You guys see that arrow stuff that was going on there? So I'm just going to share. Oh, you know what? I have to do it like that. Darn it. All right, I have to do it like this or I can't have the comments up there. But I don't like that because my mouse starts getting annoying. But anyways, you guys, Disney is saying, again, a theme park fighting with the government is really, really crazy, in my opinion. but it is what it is. Now, Disney regrets that it has come to this, the case said, but having exhausted efforts to seek a resolution, the company is left with no choice but to file this lawsuit to protect its cast members, okay, guests, and local development partners from a relentless campaign to weaponize government power against Disney in retaliation for expressing a political viewpoint unpopular with certain state officials. And it's really hard not to, get into politics. It's crazy. Even I step in it, and I really don't mean it. Now, personally, I don't think that theme parks should be getting involved in politics. That's just, and again, see, I stepped in it. Again, I'll shut up, okay? The legal filing is the latest move in a more than 1-year-old feud. So they've been fighting back and forth, you guys, for a year. Florida, Disney, fighting. It's really, really crazy. And honestly, a lot of people think that DeSantis is doing this for political reasons because his campaign to be president. A lot of people are saying he wants to do this to appear tough, right? And to take control. So so this is important, especially if he's going to be running for president. Now, DeSantis, who has framed himself as a Republican firebrand, able to implement his conservative agenda without drama. Well, this is a little bit drama, has divided a headlong into the fray with the beloved company and major tourism driver as business leaders and White House rivals bash his stance as a rejection of small government tenets of convertism. I'm so sorry, guys. My mouth is so got like cotton mouth right now. This tea's not working. But anyways, very interesting story. Let's keep going, guys. We are unaware of any legal right that the company has to operate its own government or maintain special privileges not held by other businesses in the state. This lawsuit is yet another unfortunate example of their hope to undermine the will of the Florida voters and operate outside the bounds of the law. So this is him saying this. That was DeSantis saying this. So again, a lot of back and forth, right? A lot of back and forth here. Pretty crazy stuff. And if you think about it, I mean, it is absolutely wild. There's a lot of states that want Disney to come to their state. There's even states like we covered in North Carolina that put together a board, $750,000, put together a board to try to figure out ways to get Disney to go to North Carolina. So a lot of states want Disney to come. Now, the fight began last year after Disney, in the face of significant pressure, publicly opposed a state law that bans classroom lessons of sexual orientation and gender identification in early grades. As punishment, DeSantis took over Disney World's self-governing district. So it's crazy. They pass a law. Disney has issues, makes waves. They retaliate, take over some special power. Disney retaliates. So this whole back and forth thing going on. It's really quite astonishing. Self-governing district appointing a new board of supervisors that would oversee municipal services in the sprawling theme parks. But before the new board came in, the company pushed through an 11th hour agreement that stripped the new supervisors of much of their authority. So again, a lot of legal chess playing here, which is what makes it so just really, really fascinating. The DeSantis board on Wednesday said Disney's move to retain control over their property was effectively unlawful and performed without proper public notice. Disney picked the fight with this board. We were not looking for a fight, said Martin, chair of Central Florida's Tourism Oversight District, before the vote, adding, bottom line, what our lawyers have told us is factually and legally what they created is an absolute legal mess and it will not work. So a lot of people are saying what Disney did is not going to work. And it's probably not going to work because they're this is the state of Florida. It's really, really crazy. They have special licensing and special authority to basically handle that district, right? So Disney has basically its own district. It's really crazy. All right. Now, DeSantis has also vowed additional retribution with proposals to enhance. So DeSantis wants to get revenge, right? They want to get revenge on this. So he's getting even more petty and wants to take even more away from them. Now, again, DeSantis has vowed additionally retribution with proposals to enhance state oversight of the resorts, rides, and monorails, as well as suggestion to build a prison nearby. So they just want to take over Disney. They even want to build a prison. what's going to really happen? This is really, really crazy. Also, Wednesday, the Florida State Senate passed a bill seeking to put those retributions in place and to undergo agreements made by the Reedy Creek Board before the state took it over. The House still needs to approve before it can move forward. So again, a lot of chess playing here, legal chess playing. Let's finish this out. Disney has said all agreements made with the previous board were legal and approved in a public forum. So Disney's saying it's legal, everything's legal. Florida's saying it's not illegal. It is illegal. It is really, really crazy. A targeted campaign of government retaliation orchestrated at every step by Governor DeSantis as punishment for Disney's protected speech. So this is Disney's fight in this. They feel like their speech is not being protected and things of that nature. So, that's really where they're at with that, you guys. Now, real quick, I saw a comment real quick, so I just want to touch on this, and then we're going to go over this Supreme Court case right here. Supreme Court weighs equity theft claim after state sees 94-year-old home. Okay, so this is a winner for homeowners, and a 94-year-old woman made it all the way to the Supreme Court and fought for everyone's rights, and basically said I owe the government money, but they can't sell my house and make a profit off of it. So this is going to be an interesting article. Now, real quick about new builds. I get comments all the time says, about these new builders, Lennar, D.R. Horton. So I done some research, you guys, on both Lennar and D.R. Horton, and specifically D.R. Horton. Their income's down, as is their projections, and it's projected to go down for several years. So it's crazy to me that it's record high. One of the things that I'm paying attention as far as with D.R. Horton, they have approximately $5 billion in debt that is due in 12 months. So again, D.R. Horton, now they have the $5 billion, right? Apparently they have the $5 billion. But again, you guys, they have $5 billion in debt that's due. So that's kind of a big deal. And they don't have the cash reserves. They have the assets, but they don't have the cash reserves to pay that. So really, really interesting that the market just doesn't see new home builders going down. I mean, the stocks are going up like crazy. It's really, really interesting. Okay. And they have just so much going on with D.R. Horton, you guys. Not to mention the lawsuits in Louisiana. They have a class action lawsuit in Louisiana as well. All these complaints. So if the housing market does go down, then their assets and profitability also goes down, right? Supreme Court. Now this is a good one, you guys. I'm going to read through this quickly. Again, I'm going to make a timestamp. This is a Supreme Court article right here. This poor old woman, man. She got her house taken away by the government because she owed a tax lien. Now, if you guys don't know, there's basically gimmicks out there. Well, I say gimmicks, but a lot of people invest in purchasing property tax liens that are unpaid for, say, like $20,000. If someone doesn't pay their property taxes, the state can actually foreclose on that property and the state can sell it to an investor. And investors like, oh my gosh, I love this. Let me get this tax lien. And some investors can purchase homes for like $20,000 if that's how much a homeowner owes on the taxes. So a lot of people don't like that because a lot of people are saying the government should give back any profit that they make from the sale. And I would agree with that, right? But the government's profiting off of those tax lien sales. So that's what this court case is right here, okay? And this 94-year-old grandmother made it all the way to the Supreme Court to fight for our rights. Props to her. So this is a good thing, you guys. Everyone should be motivated by this woman. But anyways, the name of this article is Supreme Court Weighs Equity Theft Claim. Let me make sure that I have my timestamp, and I do. Equity theft claim after state seized a 94-year-old's home. All right. The U.S. Supreme Court on Wednesday, this was yesterday, appeared sympathetic to the appeal of a 94-year-old Minnesota woman who got no compensation when the government seized her home over a small unpaid tax bill and pocketed the profit. So she owed a small, well, it was actually large to her, but quote unquote small tax bill, and the government just took her home. And then they sold the home, and then they made a profit on the home. Insane. And she's this old woman. This is all she has. She was kicked out. They made a profit. That's pretty crazy. Now, I know we need to pay our bills, but I mean, geez, you guys, we need to have sympathy for people, right? We need to have some type of empathy, in my opinion, anyways. Now, many justices suggested the practice which the plaintiff's lawyer at the Pacific Legal Foundation have termed home equity theft, meaning the equity should have gone to her, could run afoul of the Fifth Amendment's prohibition against government taking private property without just compensation. Now, obviously, there's not just compensation. It goes all the way back to the Magna Carta that the government cannot take more than it is owed. But that is not what has been happening, you guys, when it comes to these property tax sales. They have been taking and profiting, even though it's technically against the law to do that. So-called home equity seizure is legal in roughly a dozen states that authorize municipalities to take possession of a home in the event of a delinquency, sell the property, and keep the entirety of the earnings, regardless of the value of the outstanding tax bill. Again, this hurts. A lot of elderly people that are on fixed income, maybe they're on Social Security, they fall behind and they can never catch up. And then you take the only asset that they have. So I understand that we need to pay our bills. I'm not saying we don't need to pay our bills, but we can't be taking some old lady's house, especially when and then taking all the equity. Come on, we're better than that, y'all. I'm just saying we're better than that. In my opinion, we're way, way better than that. Now, at bottom, she's saying the county took her property and made a profit on her surplus equity. It belongs to her, Justice Clarence Thomas said. Thank you, Justice Clarence Thomas. Props to you, sir. Several justices questions the scope of the locality's powers, asking whether the government, asking whether the logical extent. I'm so sorry, guys. I get a little bit nervous here. Logical extent of the agreement meant a municipality could keep more money than was owed through costs such as administrative fees, additional penalties. They were met with answers supportive of the county's position. Can the government also keep its administrative expenses that it occurs as a result of having to go through the process? So now they're saying, okay, fine. Can we charge them a whole bunch of fees, right? Can we get our fees refunded because we have to go through this process? Okay. I saw that interest only on those mortgages. I'll cover that in a minute. I'm not worried about IO on private mortgages. We've had IO on private mortgages. It's called non-QM. Don't move to Texas. If you guys see that comment right there, absolutely replied. Representing the federal government's position generally in support of Tyler. Can it impose a penalty for failing to respond or for anything else that the property owner may do in connection with the proceeding continued? I think it can. So they're saying, yeah, you should be able to pay fees, right? But few justices appear to endorse wholesale the concept of a municipality keeping everything from a property when they sell it. Okay, so essentially in this situation, you guys, let me kind of scroll down here. Basically, they're fighting with the Fifth Amendment. Let me show you guys essentially what happened here, which is basically she owed $15,000. Okay, so this woman owed $15,000, and the state took her house and sold it for $40,000, okay, which is a pocket of 25 grand, and they kept the $25,000. They didn't give it to her. And this was in 2005. So it has taken her a long time to get to this position. But ultimately, the court is essentially starting to rule on her favor, and more work is going to be done. So this is a really, really beautiful article, you guys. I'm not going to go into it too much, but just thank God for this woman. That's all I'm saying. Thank goodness for this woman. Now what I want to do is let's go here. I want to warn you guys, okay? I still get comments, you guys. I get comments from trolls. I get comments from haters. You guys probably see them. And, and that's okay. I want differences of opinions, but, a lot of it is petty. And I still get overwhelming comments that we've hit bottom. The housing market's recovered. And I find it's just, I understand that there is a current rebound in prices right now. I look at that more as a type of dead cat bounce. But the thing here is that drives me so crazy when people say that, y'all, is we're not out of the park yet. We're still on the ride. We haven't even had our confirmed recession. We haven't even had our increase in unemployment rate. There are still so many things that have not stopped yet. But what we're experiencing right now is the seasonal trends take over. All right, we're seeing the seasonal trends take over, which means the Federal Reserve did not make housing unaffordable enough. So what I'm saying is we need interest rates at this point, right? The first 2 months, let's say March, middle of February, March, we needed interest rates higher to curb the demand. And that's what I'm saying. Nevertheless, everything is broken fundamentals. We have our red flags, we have our bank runs, and we have numerous things, you guys. And I wrote it down in a different article, but we have numerous things right now that are worse than 2008. And then we have things that are better than 2008. But one thing is for sure, we had periods like this and trends like this where equity reversed. So the house market was crashing and then it reversed for a period of a few months and then it crashed hard. So my point is, how the heck can people say this and really like not be cautious anymore when there's so much proof that we're still in the mess that we're in? If we were out of recession, the Fed pivoted, we're through all of that stuff, and then people want to say that, then okay, we're out of it. The housing market's rebounded. Here's where we're at. But the thing is you cannot say that when the show is not over. People are, estimating what, saying what has already happened when the show's not over. And again, my main factors here is obviously the unaffordability, but the foundation of the housing market is fragile because it was created with money printing, and it's essentially fake equity. Home values went up approximately, depending on your metro, 40% in about 2 years. That breaks fundamentals. And it is what it is. And that's around the world. And the other thing, guys, is we've already, going back to the new home builders, we've already seen new home builders collapse in China, Australia, and Canada. All right. So odds are it's going to hit us. I'm just saying, but we'll see, when time comes, obviously. Now, this is a really good article. Again, this is going to go into how long we were in the previous recessions and how long the Federal Reserve is warning us that we are going to stay in recession this time. I thought this was very, very intriguing. This article was put out yesterday, y'all. I'm going to do a timestamp real quick. This is very, very intriguing. As I said, this is going to be our 26/10th. Now, the name of this article, you guys, now this is from CNBC. I got the timestamp, Cindy. Thank you. A recession may be coming. Here's how long it could last, according to economists. Now, key points. Recession over the last half century has ranged from 18 months to just 2 months. However, Federal Reserve economists believe the next downturn, listen, you guys, may stick around for longer than usual. And we haven't even had a confirmed recession yet. How the heck can people say everything's okay, we're on our way to recovery? We haven't. Again, I'm going to read that one bullet point, and I really want you guys to soak that in and understand what I'm saying here. We're still on this ride. We're still on this journey. This is a warning. Federal Reserve economists, Federal Reserve economists believe the next downturn may stick around for longer than usual. So what's the rush? Why should we rush and go buy a house right now? Why should we do that? Why should we rush the largest transaction of our life? It doesn't make sense to me. Because we're going to get trapped. I'm not going to get trapped renting. Why am I not going to get trapped renting? Because as I'm renting, I'm doing many things to improve it and maintain my purchasing power. I'm sorry, back into this article. Amid a barrage of headlines about layoffs and turmoil from banks, fears about an upcoming recession are mounting. Some people may be wondering how long a downturn would last. Looking back at the length of the previous economic slumps may provide some clues. Okay. There's a committee. So they have a committee of economists at the National Bureau of Economic Research. Okay. That identifies when a recession officially starts and stops. It defines a recession as a significant decline in economic activity across different sectors that last for several or more months. Unless they want to change the definition, that's fine. Now, listen, you guys, this is some really, really good stuff. Expansion is the normal state of the economy. All right, so they get that. Now, how long economic recessions last? This is interesting. In 2021, the committee confirmed that the pandemic downturn lasted just 2 months. So we did have a recession in 2020, and it lasted only 2 months. Obviously, we're going to have a recession when the entire country is locked down. Obviously, guys, right? Which makes it the shortest U.S. recession on record. Okay, again, we were on lockdowns. Obviously, that's what's going to happen. Okay. Now, I think we're in recession already. It's just I don't know. It's just crazy. The excess money right now is being depleted, but the excess money has been incredibly powerful. And Jeff has been saying that for a long time. Now, look at this, guys. Here's the U.S. recession since 1945. And this number to the right here, I hate how my mouse is jumping. represents the amount of months we were in recession. So 1945, we were in recession for 8 months, followed by 11 months in 1948. 1953 was 10 months. 1957 was 8 months. 1960, 10 months. 11 months. 16 months. 6 months. 1981 was a long one. 1981 was 16-month recession. And then 1990 was 8 months, 2001, 8 months. And look at how long the Great Recession was, 18 months long. So the last recession, you guys, was 18 months long, probably because the housing market is so huge, right? And has such a big impact on GDP. Would you guys agree with that? Housing market is very huge impact on GDP. It's probably smart to attack inflation in the housing market. So longer than normal, what's that mean? How you doing, Luke? I see you, brother. What's that mean, right? Longer than normal. So if it's normal, what's the normal recession about? What, 11 months, 10 to 11 months? So they're letting us know that this recession could last for several years, y'all. I'm just saying this. I'm impatient as well. First of all, I want you guys to know that even last night, I penciled out a house. Now I'm finding houses that I can almost pencil out. I'm impatient because I want things to just hurry up. But the reality is, unfortunately, it's taking time. I believe the reason why it's taking time is a few reasons. 3 reasons. Number one, the quantitative easing, the bank run quantitative easing, it put us back a few steps. Number 2, the labor market's still red hot. And number 3, excess savings, right? Excess savings is completely insane right now. And the lack of inventory. So there are factors fighting each other. I just don't know how long these buyers can last, man. I mean, I was looking at these payments last night, you guys. I mean, the payments are over $1,000 more. And you don't get liquidity if you become a homeowner. So not only is your payment $1,000 more, you don't get any equity. You're stuck in your house. There's no liquidity. How long you got to be in your house before you get equity? 7 years, 10 years? That's what you get when you become a homeowner right now. I constantly got to remind myself that because I struggle, because I do not like renting. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I do not like it at all. Now, Federal Reserve economists are predicting that there will be a mild recession later this year with a recovery over 2 years. 2 years. So they're saying we're going to be in a mild recession for about 2 years. That would be what, the longest recession since what, 1945? And the housing market is okay now. And honestly, you guys, the housing market's probably going to lead the recession. Quite frankly, it probably is going to lead the recession like it did last time. Now, because the economists blame the recent turmoil in the banking industry for the impending economic trouble, they expect the pain to endure for longer than usual. Again, because it's in the banking industry, right? Now, historically, recessions related to financial market problems, listen, tend to be more severe and persistent than average recessions. And we already had a systematic failure in banking that no one saw coming in the form of bank runs. And we've only just begun. You guys, this is saying when it's in the financing market, it's the worst. That's where it started. It started with, okay, Luke is going to post her clap. You guys, this is crazy. Indeed, the longest recession in recent decades, which is the 2008 financial crisis, which lasted 18 months. And what do we have that's worse right now than 2008? Okay, number 1, bank runs. Number 2, credit card debt. Number 3, auto debt, right? Also, inflation. We can't do quantitative easing. The whole world is in a bubble, right? But the bank runs, oh my gosh, where did that come from? Commercial real estate's already worse off. I mean, come on, y'all see the writing on the wall just like I do, I'm pretty sure. Another tricky aspect to the current economic conditions is that the Federal Reserve is deliberately trying to slow, right? So this is federally induced, trying to slow economic growth in the hopes of getting inflation under control. And that's how important it is to get inflation under control. Okay, it's that important. Now, cutting rates usually helps the economy rebound from downfall. That's why the Federal Reserve can't cut rates until we have our downfall. How do we have our downfall? Inflation's crushed. How's it crushed? Job market, labor market, excess savings, right? Things like that. Now, still, Caldwell expects that the central banks will tame inflation by the end of the year and be able to start bringing rates down by 2024, at which point the economy would start its recovery. I don't think so. Now that I have more data, you guys, this is, either way, we're going to be in this situation for quite some time. Okay, so, but my thing is I think there's going to be additional periods where there is sharp price decline. I think one of those periods will be foreclosures, which we're far away from. Um, and if you guys look historically, I mean, we're right on track. It's crazy though, the excess savings. I mean, it's crazy how many people went back and bought overpriced houses. That still blows my mind. That's going on right now, by the way. I mean, when did people start accepting? Anyways, preparing for a downturn. If you're worried, if anyone's listening, if you're worried about a recession and possible job loss, I know I am. Remember me saying I'm trying to stay ahead of this. I'm worried about my job loss. You guys, recommends updating your resume. You guys update your resume so that, and another thing, that's what we should be teaching in school. And I actually have volunteered for high schools and I taught about resumes. And you want to know something that's crazy? It's like almost all the kids didn't even know how to put a resume together. Like none of these kids know how to do a resume. A resume is so important. Anyways, so you may want to revamp your resume. Keeping in touch with a network of people in your field can also help you learn open positions or even get a referral. So networking, right? Have it a solid. Here's the thing, you guys. Here's why I can't buy right now. I can buy right now, actually, but having a solid emergency savings account anywhere from 3 months to a year's worth of expenses, stacked away is one of the best safeguards to help ride out a downturn without having to get into debt. Okay. So anyways, you guys, that is a huge warning. Okay. Would you guys agree with that? That's a huge warning that the recession is going to be a bad one. And again, we already had bank runs. We didn't have bank runs in the last financial crisis. And the boots haven't even dropped in commercial real estate. Auto loan defaults are exploding. I mean, absolutely incredible. And here's the other thing, okay, so we may not have a subprime collapse, right? But the banking right now is getting absolutely ransacked in mortgage market. Why? Because business is dead. So they're making way less money in every field right now. Isn't that crazy, you guys? Just saying. Now, I'm going to read briefly this article, you guys, and then I am going to get out of here and get to work. And again, remember my Q&A tomorrow, please. You guys join my Q&A. You guys just ask whatever questions you want. I will answer. But take a listen to this, you guys, just to put this in perspective, because a lot of people are downplaying what we're going and no more than the people that are buying houses right now. Now, and I get it. I get the fear of missing out, and I get the frustration, and I get how people feel scared and overwhelmed, like they're never going to be able to buy. They're always going to be stuck renting. It's a feeling of discouragement. I understand all of those feelings, and here's the great news, you guys, it's just feelings. Isn't that great? Now, the speed of U.S. bank failure to play starring role in Fed FDIC posts. Okay, so this is what I was saying. This is one of the reasons why I think that we didn't even have higher rates. These darn bank runs. It actually they took their foot off the gas in the form of quantitative easing. And it is quantitative easing because they bailed the banks out. And that is a fact. So that quantitative easing, again, it's just very frustrating. And where's the credit freezes at? I want to see the credit tightening hit residential. Credit tightening has already hit the auto, badly hit auto. Commercials already massively hit. I want to see it more in residential. All right, now, this is insane. All of the facts that have emerged about last month's two U.S. bank busts, two bank runs, the unanswered warning letters from regulators, here we go, the ignored interest rate risk, the outsized levels of uninsured deposits. One data point in particular continues to stir deep-seated unease among financing officials. That is 36. So 36 is the scary, what is that word, number? That's a scary word. And I'll explain more why 36 is so scary. That's roughly the number of hours it took for Silicon Valley Bank to go from a functioning regional lender to being seized by regulators after the fastest bank run in U.S. history saw $42 billion in deposits yanked in 24 hours, with another $100 billion queued for the door before the California-based bank was shut down. So everything was great, and it took 36 hours. So again, no one saw that coming. Well, actually, they saw that coming because a lot of the CEOs cashed out. But that's what I'm saying. Everything's all great, right? When we look away and when we keep our head in the sands, we get blindsided, y'all, from stuff just like that. That collapse was probably brewing for what, a year, right? But 36 hours. They went from hero to zero in 36 hours with zero warning to the depositors. Remember, it was right before the weekend. The depositors were trapped over the weekend. Huge companies. Remember, Roku had what, 500 billion? You guys, things can happen at the snap of the fingers. Okay, 36 hours. Look at all the writing on the wall. We can't keep our heads in the sand, is what I'm saying. We can't keep our heads in the sand. Now, as regulators at the Federal Reserve and Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation prepare to release a pair of post reports on, so Friday they're going to have reports on what went wrong. Okay, the staggering speed of the second and third largest U.S. bank failures even remains a primary focus. Moreover, beyond whether the bank examiners could have been sharper-eyed and tougher-knuckled, the ongoing question of whether they could have moved faster remains a central concern. So, in other words, you guys, and again, here's the number 36. The number 36 has just been, branded in my brain. How should we be thinking about relationships given that speed? And how do we think about protocols given that speed, which means they don't have control? Would you all agree? They don't have control. That's our money. If we want our money, they don't have our money. Y'all remember the FDIC video I did? I'm like, you guys, the FDIC don't have the money. And I got hate. They're like, oh, you shouldn't do that. And then what? 45 days later, 2 bank runs. And the FDIC didn't have enough money to save everyone. We were right this whole time. Don't forget it. People are getting desensitized to the realities of what's happening in our world. I'm just, that's just all, that's what I think. That's just my opinion, you guys. Now, other than that, you guys, I am done for today. I definitely appreciate you guys, following along with me, but that's it, you guys. That's your morning headlines. Let me know if you guys want me to continue doing morning videos like this, where it's not all about the housing market. It's going to dig into, headlines or what's going on in the news. Let me know, you guys. Comment below. Or do you guys want me just to stick to real estate? I want to, obviously I know real estate very, very well, but I'll be honest with you guys. I want to talk about something else. There's so many things going on in the world, especially in the banking sector and what's going on with the Federal Reserve. I would like to be able to talk about other things, but if you guys don't want me to talk about other things, just let me know below and I won't. Now, other than that, you guys, I really hope you have a great morning today. You guys, increase your purchasing power, love some people, buy someone a cup of coffee at Starbucks. And other than that, if you're out there investing in real estate, you guys know I wish you luck and I hope you win.